to the supporters of channel member Harold Rotmo. Oh, boys and girls, that was all a little bit unexpected. I did not have win the Premier League that season in the script, so I don't really know where we go from here. We've got £60 million to spend. There are a couple of obvious gaps in the squad we could spend it on, but I guess we're now trying to build a Champions League winning squad. I feel like we're still miles away from a Champions League winning squad, but I guess we did win the Conference League, which any West Ham fan will tell you makes you champions of Europe. So I don't know. Are we focusing on wonder kids? Are we trying to add 2 or 3 superstars to make us proper challengers? Do we stick to the original plan? Do we do a new plan? Do we go job hunting while my stock's high? This could be an interesting summer. And there is your confirmation of all of those things. Obviously, we won the Premier League. It looks like we won it quite comfortably in the end. Obviously, it wasn't quite that comfortable. And then, of course, we did smash Dortmund in the Conference League final. So we are a Champions League team next season. And we do go into that season with £60 million of transfer budget and loads of spare wage budget. The finances in general aren't quite that rosy. We're massively overdrawn. But I suspect Champions League money will solve that problem for us. And as far as the kind of transfers we want to do, I think we'd already identified a goalkeeper wouldn't be the worst plan. I don't know that Restes is a Champions League winning goalkeeper. So if we could find a really, really top goalkeeper, that would be handy. I think we're probably set for strikers now with Alatsi, Harley, Kelly. I think obviously Alatsi and Harley will continue to get better. Kelly should be useful coming off the bench. Left-hand side, I think McRobbie is fine. McAdams is only going to get better on the right as well. We could maybe do with an extra midfielder. I think Nielsen is real top level, but I don't think we have someone real top level alongside him. Landu and Nzita are good Premier League players, not necessarily elite players. At left back, we've got to replace Hincapié. He's old. We have got him under contract for another season, but if we can find an Angeli who can play on the other side as well, that would be perfect. And then at centre back, I think Roivers and Castro will be our Champions League winning centre back partnership when the time comes. It's just we probably need some strength in depth behind them as well. So there's definitely stuff for us to be doing. There's obviously players we can move on to try and finance it. Somebody like Baker Whiting, Nzita if we sign another midfield player. And maybe a couple more here and there. Koklov, if we're not playing with an attacking midfielder anymore, there's an argument to sell Koklov, even though he's a wonder kid. So Restes, if we sign a new goalkeeper, there's lots to be doing. I guess we'll figure it out as we go along, as usual. We've got a lot of players who've won awards as well. Jude McRobbie won Premier League Playmaker, which I think is the most assists award. Restes got the Golden Glove. I got Manager of the Year. We also had Restes, Angeli and Fimbres made it into the Premier League Team of the Year. Elatsi won Conference League Player of the Year and Top Scorer and Young Player. Basically, the Conference League was his coming of age competition. Restes, Angeli, Castro. I mean, I would argue probably more than that. There you go. That's the Conference League team of the season. It's pretty much our boys, and I guess does highlight that central midfield is probably where we're the least dominant. Roivers gets a pile of money as well, and then we end of season review. Just an image of a thumbs up is all that's needed there, I think. I've sent them off to South Africa for pre-season training. I've told them I want them back by the 6th of July. So free transfer day. We're not going to have the squad here. It's fine. We don't need them anymore. And it's not, although there's international duty happening, it's not a competition summer. So we don't need to worry about any of these boys going off and do lots and lots of forward. Bigger Landu's in the France squad. Maybe he doesn't need replacing. Maybe he just needs using a bit more often. And we've obviously got these Scottish boys who we've sent out on loan as well, who we might want to reintegrate back into the squad. There's lots to do. And I guess this is arguably going to be our biggest challenge of the summer. Players, despite us being Premier League champions, still wanting to leave. So Roivers wants to speak to Real Madrid. He's going to need convincing to stay. Well, let's convince him to stay. So persuade to stay. I've got no intention of letting you go. What's it going to take to keep you here? I want to win the Champions League. Well, we've just won the Premier League. That makes us contenders for the Champions League, surely. Wait and see. No, doesn't seem realistic. You have to understand. Give me a season. I quite like that one. Give me a season. I agree there's some good prospects. I'll give it another year. Right, fingers crossed. That works for everybody. I hope that means give us a year and then we'll be ready to be competitive. I hope he's not expecting us to win it this season. I don't think that's what I've just promised him. I really hope that's not what I've just promised him. It's not what I promised him. We've got a year to continue integrating young players into the first team squad. Well, we're already doing that. I don't even really know how that's going to be judged, but obviously we've got Elazzi, we've got Harley, we've got McAdams, we've got Castro, we've got Angeli. So I don't know how he's judging it, but we're definitely already doing it. See, this is an interesting one because if we'd have already been able to identify a new goalkeeper to come in, this would have been perfect, but we haven't. So it's not. We have done a little bit of business already, though. If we have a look at our transfer history, you can see that Koklov has joined Sunderland on loan with a view to a permanent move. He's got a £13 million optional future fee on there. Inglis, another young attacking midfielder, has joined Wolfsburg on loan for the season. Baker Whiting has gone to Watford for £8.5 million. And one of our other rubbish left-backs, Helili, has gone to Bergamo on loan for the season as well. And we've signed a backup goalkeeper to compete with Mr. Tickle, Hamid Parker, mainly because he's English and homegrown in nation. And as a third goalkeeper, we kind of needed a third goalkeeper. So now we have one. So with all the ins and outs we've done so far, if I can ever get there, our budget is continuing to grow. Both budgets are continuing to grow. What's this? I don't know who this guy is. I guess my director of football's made an offer for somebody. No, you're right. I don't really want him. I don't know who he is. I don't know why we're offering for him. He's a bit old. If he was that profile and 21, then maybe. But not for a 27-year-old. Goodness me. Okay, well, this is annoying because we had a transfer lined up for this guy as my Hincapié rotation option. A 6'3" French left back who can also play centre back. Lovely, lovely physical attributes. You know I love a physical attribute. We had the deal agreed with him. And then Nice said, can we just delay the deal while we sign a replacement? I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's early June. Fill your boots. A week has gone by and now the deal's fallen through because they failed to sign a suitable replacement. Well, hang on then. I'd like to put my offer back in now, please. That's now unacceptable. So why did you accept it a week ago? Absolutely hideous. I'm not giving them a delay this time. What happens if I just say no? If I say no to the delay, does the deal fall through then? Was there no way for that deal to actually happen? Was there no right answer? Back to the drawing board for my left back. I mean, for a minute there, I was like, oh, this could be interesting. Then I realised it's the Man City women's team. And as much as there's never been a rule in the save that I'm not going to go manage women's teams, I'm not going to leave the men's Premier League champions to go manage any women's team because I know they're not going to offer me enough money. And it's a much lower reputation level club to go to. So, I mean, I thought that was going to be men's. No, I'm not going to talk to that. Is just silly. I think on principle, if they ever come in and offer me an interview for the men's team, it's an automatic no now because they actually thought they are that big time that they could take me away from Blackburn as reigning Premier League champions to go and manage their women's team. And frankly, the fact they spell citizens like that has always annoyed me anyway. I can't be doing with it. Get lost, Man City. We have made our first big signing of the summer. Rivellino Fer is a Surinamese left winger who can also play left wing back, potentially has a future at left back with that lovely tackling attribute. Can't play left back. Natural left wing back, can't play left back, obviously. But we did need an extra winger, as you saw at the end of last season when Jude McRobbie was suspended, then injured, and we were having to play Harley out on the left-hand side because we didn't really have another option out there. This gives us that other option. He'll compete with McRobbie as the starter. McRobbie can then compete with McAdams as a starter on the other side, and it leaves us with three very, very capable wingers, which means we shouldn't be in a scenario we have to move Harley out wide again, which obviously we don't want to do because, as we all know, his best position is as a centre forward. It does mean Jake Evans drops down the pecking order a little bit. But again, if we're trying to win the Champions League now, I love Jake Evans. He was the right player at the right time. He's not a Champions League player, though. So he Yeah, sorry, he loses out in this scenario. He can stick around as a fourth option, but Gurgle is sneaking up behind him, who is very much similar to Fur from the other side. It does mean that we could kind of play wing backs. We've got two good natural wing backs, one for each side now. I'm not going to, but the option will be there for us. We still really need a left back, unless it's going to be him. It might be him. It probably won't. It might. Well, this is a little bit more complicated, I think, because I suspect they'll offer me more money and I suspect I might go. Because, yes, we've just won the Premier League with Blackburn, but it's Liverpool, isn't it? Liverpool are a big, big team in need of a rebuild. And if we are talking in terms of realism, I'm exactly the kind of manager they'd go after. It could be you look at it one of two ways. Either winning the Premier League with Blackburn was a fluke, in which case I'll want to jump before I'm pushed when it doesn't go as well the next season, in which case I'm going to jump at the chance to go there, or they're just going to throw a load of money at me and it's like, well, they're obviously a bigger club. We've got to see what they've got to say. Hi, Scott. How you doing? I have built up experience with smaller clubs. I could probably still live in Wigan as well if I managed Liverpool. I have shown loyalty. I turned down Newcastle. Do you remember when I turned down Newcastle? I deal with the media just fine. My record speaks for itself. Am I happy to work with him? Hold on. Can't tell if he's got a beard. I'll say yes. Yes, I think we can qualify for the Champions League. I just did it with Blackburn, for goodness sake. See, that is why we didn't go to Newcastle, but why Liverpool becomes really tempting. That's enough money to take Rob Harley to Liverpool and then build the team around him. Yes, that works for me. I mean, it's just such a bigger club, so much more money. We genuinely might be going to Liverpool. Which, I mean, in my defence, because I know it's going to upset some of you, but in my defence, I've never made the jump at this point before, I don't think. Certainly not within the same league. We've just won the Premier League with Blackburn. We know we're going to win the Champions League within the next 3 or 4 years because that's what I do in Football Manager. But we're playing on realism mode. If they come and offer to double my salary and double my transfer budget, we're going to go, aren't we? I'm kind of just waiting for the offer now. How much money am I on at Blackburn? See, I'm still only 54 years old. I'm a young manager. £36,000 a week. If they came in and offered me 100 grand a week, obviously I'm off, aren't I? Liverpool are kind of taking their time here. It's already the 2nd of July. I'm kind of treading water because I don't really know what to do now. I guess we continue to wait. I should probably get on with some transfers while I wait, though. Grr. Well, still no news from Liverpool, but we have managed to get Yannick Londo through the door. This is the big left back that I was looking at before where the deal fell through. It seems this time they didn't need to sign a replacement. I guess maybe they signed one. But he's 3 stars current ability, 3 stars potential. So he's not like sensational. But I think the important thing that he is he's already as good as Hincapié, almost as good as Roivers, who's our only other option there at the moment. But he's also young. And he's 6'3", has excellent physicals. He can play that inverted fullback role that Hincapié has been playing. He's good in the air. He's comfortable playing at centre-back. He's basically an extra centre-back for us, which is what Hincapié has been. And yeah, I think he's going to be a very valuable addition to the squad. It's not always all about star ratings, boys and girls. There's also the fact that I'm probably leaving, so it doesn't really matter. But no, in all seriousness, I think he's going to be great. And bringing him in does allow us to let little Castro go out on loan. So he's off to Coventry for the season while I continue to sit next to the phone. None of the squad know why I'm sat next to the phone. I just really like the phone at the moment. I wonder if it might ring one day, maybe. Right, we've got 2 parts of the same big decision here. We've kind of decided we're not using a attacking midfielders anymore. Koklov's already gone. We've sold Carstens as well. I know when we brought him, it was with the idea of him eventually playing a little bit deeper. But the second part of the big decision is Flynn Grimmer, who came through our own youth system, can already play a little bit deeper. And he is going to become part of the first team squad to replace Carstens and be another option for us in central midfield after a number of successful loans. He's already a full Scotland international, and we need homegrown at club players for the Champions League, and Grimmer is one. In other news, the longer it takes Liverpool to come in for me, the more likely I am to decline the job, because if they set me up to fail, I'm not interested. No amount of money. Bearing in mind, I've just won the Premier League. I'm on the up. So no amount of money is going to convince me to go in there with 3 weeks of the window left with an ageing squad that needs updating. I need a transfer window. It's ridiculous to offer me the interview in the middle of June. We're now into the middle of July. They still don't have a manager. So their summer has been chaos, presumably. And I'm not going to be able to do anything about it if they bring me in too late. So I think if we get to August and I've still not been offered the job, I think it becomes a decline, even if they offer me a load of money, because I'm rich enough already now. I live in a big house in Wigan. I'm earning loads of money. If we do well again next season, I'll be able to get an even bigger job than Liverpool when the time comes. So I'm not desperate for a move. I'm not desperate for the money. It's an advantageous move if I can go in there and win the Premier League first season and get back to where I am now. It doesn't work for me if I have to have a season of transition waiting to be able to do that rebuild. I hope you're listening, Liverpool. Because I'm serious, I will turn you down if you don't get a... Maybe they were listening. How have they not offered me the job? Don't they know who I am? Who on earth have they hired as their manager? Luis Enrique? What's he ever done? He's 1,000 years old. I mean, that seems bananas all round, but... glad I carried on doing my transfers while it was all happening. False alarm. We're not going to Liverpool. The absolute cheek of it. Get out of here. Genuinely, at this point, I think Liverpool are becoming a permanent enemy. Leave my Wonder Kids alone, you weird old man. Well, we've got a potential Brian Clough, Peter Taylor situation emerging here because my assistant manager has agreed to go to Spurs. I hope it's not going to all fall apart from here. I've also decided to let Grimmer leave on loan after all, because West Ham's a really good loan for him. They're in the Championship, but they've promised that he'll be an important player. And I think at 19 years old, a season playing as part of a Championship promotion squad in a decent team is probably better for him than being our fourth choice defensive midfielder. So we're actually entering into the new season with very little in the way of business done. We signed Londo. Yakupi signed permanently. He was in on loan with us last season, even though we never used him. And we signed the goalkeeper and Fur earlier in the summer before the season ticked over. And then it's just been a case of letting players leave at the end of their loans or that weren't going to be used. So Higgins went to Southampton for £32.5 million in the end, despite everyone telling me he was the answer. He got 7 goals for them in the Championship. I don't think he was the answer. We'll see how many Premier League goals he gets for them this season, shall we? But other fringies who were out on loan, Fofana, Graf, we sent a bunch of youngsters out on loan. Tingy has gone to Al Tawoon after he was out on loan last season. Ash Abimbola is somebody to keep an eye on. He's 21 years old now, but he's still showing us having 5 stars of potential, which he hasn't really shown on any of his loans. But he was on loan at Coventry last season. He's gone back there for another year, because I'm nicer than the AI, and I'll allow that. But we want him to have a proper breakout season for Coventry, because then maybe he becomes a homegrown at club player that can help us with our Champions League registration. And Jake Evans has just left the club to go to Marseille on loan. So at the moment, our team for the Community Shield looks like this, which I think is a pretty decent team. Harley not in it. We'll see. Harley and McRobbie, neither of them in it. We'll see how things pan out over time. We will give a debut to Londo, and we've got Londo and Landu playing near each other. That can't possibly go wrong. But that is going to be in tomorrow's episode, so I need to go and have a lie down and sulk about Liverpool. because I'm still really annoyed that that's happened. And I think I'm a little bit on tilt as a result of it. We've still got money to spend, and I don't think I'll spend it wisely if I try and do it now. We have just given a new 2-year contract to Restes on big money. So I think we're going to keep him as our goalkeeper, but I'm not really sure what we need. Maybe a really good central midfielder, especially if Grimmer leaves. We maybe go out and find a really good central midfielder, but we'll see how we get on in the Community Shield in the first few games of the Premier League season before rushing into any decisions. And then, of course, we have the Champions League to come this season as well, which is going to be all kinds of fun. But if you've enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.